best part of my day is for about 10 seconds from when I pull up to the curb to when I get to your door. Because I think maybe I'll get up there and I'll knock on the door and you won't be there.
Welcome to the Regular Menthol Podcast, where we discuss Kino movies. My name is Tate. My co-host here is Chris.
Hello.
We give a little thoughts on the movie, our experience. Then we discuss specific scenes that we like, followed up with a Kino rating. Chris, how you been, man? It's been a week since our last episode.
It's been a week, man. It's been a week. I can tell you that much.
We haven't really talked other than schizophrenic texts between us, but
that's true.
Other than that, it's been an action-packed week. Holy smokes.
Well, what do you got going on?
Well, I've been out there, I'm just bringing back
you mixing it up with the people?
Sports. I'm out there rollerblading on Butler Ave, and I think to myself, you don't really think about the quality of roads and how, fresh they are until you get some rollerblades on and start zipping around. Like, some roads are real bumpy, and you're like, this sucks. And other roads are real smooth. And you're like, yeah, this is awesome.
Explain to the people your current rollerblading situation.
Basically, like, I lost my mind, and I'm like, I think I'm just going to start rollerblading again. Okay. Now, I got some rollerblades, and I have knee pads, elbow pads, and like wrist things. And they're literally the things I had in the 90s, the mid 90s, the exact same pads. I found them in my parents' basement, and I just took them, and they still fit and everything. Wearing them. So yeah, I'm zipping around like Ambler. I got this camera. I'm doing some it's like a 360 camera, and it shows all the angles when I'm zipping around. So in video editing, you can kind of change the perspective and move it around and everything. It's pretty cool.
I've seen it before, yeah.
But, maybe I'll just edit some videos together with some 3 days grace. I don't know.
You're just going to go Kino 90s rollerblading.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We're bringing it back. And I'll tell you what, dude, I get a pretty vicious, like, leg workout.
Yeah?
Yeah, because you kind of have to be kind of crouched down a little bit. If you're just standing up, you're less mobile and everything. So if you crouch down, your legs are burning a little bit, and then you're pushing off to the sides. So you're kind of like doing a little leg press every push.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're doing speed skating. You're not doing for tricks, correct?
Absolutely not. Yeah,
dude. Growing up,
just zipping around the city.
So we'd be at the skate park, this tiny little skate park in Williamsport, and there was this one dude, Kranak, who I'm still friends with to today. And bro, he was the lone rollerblader, and at the skate park it was like, oh yeah, all skaters and fruit booters. And dude, this dude was so awesome and good that everyone just backed off, and he'd be doing like backflips and stuff off the center. Like he was good, man. He still plays to this day.
Yeah, man.
I'm Facebook friends with him.
I'll tell you what, it's a little scary when you get back on, because you're definitely off balance and you totally just fall and crack your head. But once you do it a while, it's just as easy as like the first time you did it, back in the 90s or whatever. You pick it up real quick.
It's like riding a bike, but on rollerblades.
Although I would say that riding a bike is much easier.
Oh yeah.
But it's not as bad as, say, skateboarding, where skateboarding is legit difficult.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I got going on. I'm losing my mind, I'm 41, folks. Okay. If I fall, it's over. It's a wrap.
Chonk. Yeah. I had a pretty busy week this past week. I shot a commercial for a car dealership in the Virginia, Maryland area. Great shoot. Awesome people. Gotta say, it was a full day, but one thing that stuck out was this chick. Now, dude, I was texting you about this when I got home, because I was just like rage texting you because it was Friday. And I'm like, these shoots are typically, it's like, you know, random people, unless you've worked with them before, you know, you just kind of put on a face and it's like, hey, I'm working with you for today, whatever. So it's 3 guys, 3 girls, and everyone's super cool. The other 2 guys, 2 of the girls are there, also super cool, super quiet, like whatever. We're all just kind of bullshitting. And then in comes this Tasmanian devil chick who's just like super late. Oh, sorry, I went to the wrong place, and just super vocal, which whatever. She proceeds to just not stop talking the entire day, and not going to get into like the personal things that she's sharing, but basically by the end of the day, you get in that hour where you're just kind of getting loopy and you're like, all right, I'm ready to be done. I've been on my feet all day. And this chick knows what we need to do to finish these couple takes. And she's just like so out of it and just like over it that she's just not even doing what she's supposed to do. And it's with me. And I'm like kind of getting pissed off because I'm like, dude, you're really holding it up. I'm like, I know that they're going to be pissed after the fact when they see us in the background of this one take. And just not being professional. Not the professional. So the professional. Anyway, long story short, she's telling me how she's going for it with acting, okay? She's going for it. And the universe owes her from what she's been dealing with. So she's just going to make it. Potentially moving to another state.
Where dare I say
not out west, not out west.
Is she going out west?
But like just her, and when I tell you, I don't mean to shit on anybody, but I don't know what it means am I a good actor, but when I tell you, it's just relevant because of the movie that we're doing tonight. But when I say that you can tell if someone has it, you can tell when someone has it.
Yeah.
Don't think it's happening.
Well,
especially to have the attitude that I was just so, oh my God, I was like, bro, just again, if it wasn't for the non-professionalism and just the behavior on set, I'm like, oh my God, dude, it just really rubbed me the wrong way.
You hate to kind of poo-poo anyone's dream.
Yeah, but the universe owes her, man, you know? So.
Yeah, but then you start getting the kind of the facts, the reality of the situation,
right.
And it's like, look, when's this dream going to take off for you? Are you really committing to it,
dude? And
at what cost?
Coming from someone who had it for a while, it's so impossible. And again, I'll reiterate that there's some tells that you can, you know, kind of see if people have a shot. And I don't know if it's happening, but anyhow.
And how does it relate to what we're talking about? Well, it's very relevant because the movie that we're discussing this week, folks, is Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting.
1997.
Hello, Will.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So again, it's perfect because, you know, this is this is the coming out of Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. But before we get to that, tell me what this movie's about, King.
A brilliant but troubled orphan works as an MIT janitor, despite being a 300 IQ genius. After getting in a fight and arrested, he's given a chance if he agrees to counseling with a psychology professor. Through a number of sessions, the psychologist breaks through the barriers of this smart young man and encourages him to embrace new experiences, leading to a personal breakthrough.
Nice. Very nice.
Well, but you are correct. I mean, I was reading about it. Affleck and Damon, they're writing this in some class, where they're supposed to do a 1-act play, and Damon's like, I think I failed because I think this is the first act of the movie that I'm writing, and then the professor's like, yeah, keep writing this.
Yeah, I saw that you sent that to me, and I touch on that later. I'll get into the specifics of how that all unfolded, but. What's the history of this movie? I mean, we talked about this movie a million times over.
I mean, I don't know how long it was after meeting you. Like at some point, like we started working together, and there was probably some lull time, and then we both realized, yeah, we're both into the same stuff. And I just remember you saying, just over, the best part of my day,
Yeah, dude. There's a couple of lines from this movie that they just, I'm sure a million people and anyone listening is like, if you know movies well, or you have a bunch of lines memorized, that things happen in daily life that kind of prompt you to think that, and then you just drop the line. I don't know. It might just be some weird thing, but yeah, dude. Many, many times have I said lines from this movie, but like I said, man, this movie I think is just absolutely phenomenal. Again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I'll say it again. Here we have just another 90s, 2000s movie, and it's just original plot line, completely original. You supplement that with some good acting, and what you get is an incredible movie. Do you agree?
Yeah. I think they made a ton of money on this movie.
Did they? It won an Oscar.
30 million, and it got like 230 million or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Pretty good for a little project between Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Just something
at 27 years old, right? At 27.
Yeah. Exactly, dude.
Well, I think it might have been even they were younger when they wrote it, and then there was some lull time before they actually got it greenlit.
Right.
But I think it was 27 when he's the youngest to ever win an Oscar, which these days Oscars, don't really mean a lot, but yeah, I mean, phenomenal film, but we'll unpack that. So,
Ben Affleck in this movie, also starring Cole Hauser.
Yeah. Right. Anyone who's familiar with, what's the show?
Yellowstone.
Thank you. Cole, you're like, is this Cole Hauser? This is Cole Hauser. He's just a ginger. Where in Yellowstone, he has like black hair. He's insane looking.
True. In Yellowstone, he's just got dyed jet black facial hair, like crazy looking. But I feel like most people listening to this, are millions and millions of listeners. They probably are thinking Cole Hauser. Wait a second, I know that's Rip from Yellowstone, right? But myself, I'm thinking I say to myself, I didn't know when I saw Yellowstone originally. I was like, I kind of know that guy from somewhere. Where do I know him from? Because he looks gigantic in Yellowstone. I'm like, oh, that's the dude from Dazed and Confused.
Yep, never drew that parallel, even watching Yellowstone.
Yeah,
later.
Because you got your different Cole Hauser eras. Now, this is kind of deep lore, but you got your Dazed and Confused starring Cole Hauser and Ben Affleck, and then you have Good Will Hunting star Cole Hauser and Ben Affleck. And I think that I was like, I remember that guy. And then I saw Too Fast, Too Furious. I was like, oh, there's a dude from Dazed and Confused. And then, I don't know, 18 years pass, and I'm like, where do I know that guy from? Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, he just pops up. And I think he's a great actor. Cole Hauser rules. I mean, not really a big part in this movie, or Dazed and Confused for that matter, but like kind of a tough guy. But I mean, anyone who watches Yellowstone will probably agree it's like top character.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely a force of nature in that show.
Oh, yeah.
And we talk about, names a lot in these movies, the goofy names. Who's the name guy in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
I think, I was just thinking to myself, like, I'm staring at the title screen. It says Good Will Hunting. And I think, what does this name even mean? And to me, I'm like, do they just kind of not have a name for it and just come up with, what would sound good? How about the character's name is Will Hunting and he's good.
Good Will.
Good Will Hunting. Good Will.
Good, Will Hunting. No, yeah, it's kind of wild to think about it.
And it kind of, it makes me think of what is the process that goes into naming a movie, because you see on some of these movies that the names change, and
they do regularly.
Maybe they have,
I think.
they have something in their head of what this movie would be called, and then all of a sudden you get the marketing department showing up and they say, I don't think that's going to play with the audience.
Let's go with Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, they're going to name this like MIT 300 IQ janitor guy or something. And they're like, how about Goodwill? See, it's a play on words. Goodwill, Will Hunting, Good Will Hunting. And Anywho, I just think the process of these names is not just the characters, but the actual titles of the movie itself is funny.
You're probably right. I'm not going to lie. Do you recall the first time you saw this thing?
Not really, actually, because I must have seen this later in the 2000s, and maybe it was on TV or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm familiar with Affleck from, I don't know, 100 movies. I remember Affleck from Mallrats, remember?
Right. Yeah, that was good.
And Damon, Born Identity, and all these movies and everything. Both of these guys were, let's say I saw it in the mid 2000s or something. They're both legitimate A-listers at that point, right? And I think, oh, they were both in a movie together. This Good Will Hunting, it happens to be on TV. Let me just tune in. This must have been something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time, I must have taken the movie seriously. And now all I could think of, I can't even take the movie seriously. I have to just laugh through the whole thing now. Just thinking of different scenarios of like what we're talking about on here, Like
it's true.
Watching movies might be ruined for me. I don't know.
Hey man, it definitely changes things for you. I think I saw this probably, I want to say like 2010, which is, when I was first getting into films, like seriously. And I'm on this crusade to watch everything. So this is just me being a schizo in my room watching this movie. I knew that there was a huge hit. But yeah, I mean, it was the first time I watched it, like, this is why. I think Joe probably even told me to watch it. Of all the million movies him and Nora told me to watch, but yeah, I definitely wasn't disappointed. I mean, this movie is just checks all the boxes, in my opinion, which we'll get into. Do you have a literally me character for this one? I
mean, I guess my literally me character is Will Hunting. I'm just, I'm taking calls from these distributor guys, and I'm like, wait a second, I think I'm a 300 IQ genius. Like, what am I doing here? Let me apply myself. I got a lot of barriers up. Okay, I need a psychologist to come in and help me out here.
Sticking around, he is beneath you. I'd have to go with Sean. I get kind of Sean vibes. I kind of just feel like I'm at the stage in my life where, I know who I am, what I want. And the guy's seemingly curious to always learn. So I don't know. For me, that's probably the closest. But let me get into some of this, what I was talking about earlier, the origins of how this movie came to be, which is actually kind of wild. So you have Damon and Affleck. They grow up together in Southie, Boston. Damon was at Harvard. Okay, it was what you referenced. That's pretty impressive that he started out at Harvard, was taking a playwriting class, and instead of writing a play, he writes the first act of this movie, which I think he said it was like 40 pages or whatnot. Presents it to the professor. Professor loves it, gives him an A, but instead of continuing on, he just goes right out to LA, which is kind of, how many of these stories do you hear? These actors, A-listers who were in college and they dropped out to go out west.
Right.
And follow the dream. And like, they're always successful. I mean, you only hear the success stories, but it's kind of crazy. That's
what is it that is propelling someone to go out west against all odds and think that you can make it, unless you have someone telling you that, hey, you actually do have some talent.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I did read that there's some kind of connection between Ben Affleck and Terrence Malick. Terrence Malick, great director and writer. He is friends with Ben Affleck's godfather. Okay. So think about that. There's always some kind of connection. You might know somebody. So I don't know. Take that for what it is, but
yeah, I always think to myself, there's probably a lot of people that go out west, so to speak, and they kind of just are like, this is my dream. Like, I have to do this or else my dream won't come true. Whereas I think there's other guys who are, maybe Damon, someone is telling them, hey dude, like, you need to go out here and see so-and-so, like, immediately, because you actually have talent. We'll get you hooked up.
Yeah. I think
And I don't know if they talk about that, you know?
psychopaths like this, like they just have that drive to where like they know that they have it and they're like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm going to regret it. It's ironically enough, that's what this chick I was just referencing that I just filmed. She's like, I'm not going to go through the rest of my life regretting it if I don't take this chance. And it's like, now with someone like that, I don't know. Someone like Matt Damon who has this vision and obviously a really, really good script. Okay. And maybe some potential connections that might make more sense. Again, I've filmed with people who have moved out west to LA and none immediately have been doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, how you're not going to see an A-lister. There's only so many slots when you think about it. So,
Well, I think you mentioned something important, and you said something along the lines of they're crazy. And I'm wondering, you know, not just going out west, but really in anything, the guys who make it, is there a little bit of craziness in them?
oh, absolutely.
You know, like Tom Brady is the best. And the guy I think, had a little bit of craziness in him where he's probably, if you ask him today, still pissed that he got drafted that late.
Oh,
and
yeah.
will, like, fight you about it.
Well, and all the entrepreneurs that you know about that are successful, they eat, sleep, and breathe it. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
the difference. That
And
really
it gives
is the
them that
difference.
extra energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're like psycho
Right.
about it for sure. So getting back to the script, apparently the early version it was kind of like, I can't think of the movie that it references, but that I would reference, but they're evading the government because they're after Will's brilliant mind. So the whole movie is just them trying to like keep Will from the government. So Castle Rock, which was Rob Reiner, if you remember that name, production company, they buy the script for $600,000, and they demand rewrites from Damon and Affleck because they don't like the whole government angle. So Damon and Affleck get so pissed about, you know, the constant rewrites and Castle Rock not reading them, which they're aware of. They add sex scenes between Will and Sean, knowing that they wouldn't read it. And it turns out they never even read it. So they basically give him an ultimatum. You know, they say you're going to either buy it back or, you know, we're going to move forward with it. But one side note that I want to point out is they didn't want to have Damon and Affleck for the lead roles, which was non-negotiable for them, obviously. Of all people, they wanted him in the roles was Leo and Brad Pitt. So you think about like, the craziness of those two, especially with what is the recent movie? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it's the first time they ever worked together. But just think about
them would have been
right. It makes you think
Goodwill.
Goodwill. I don't know. Probably Leo, I guess. So they ended up buying the movie back, right? They shopped the script to Kevin Smith, who takes them to Miramax and introduces them to none other than Harvey Weinstein himself, who greenlights it. Pretty wild. Mm-hmm. Pretty wild story.
Dude, say what you will about Harvey Weinstein, but Miramax released some serious banger movies, and
no question about it. And apparently Weinstein, his one note was get rid of the sex stuff between Sean and Will because they didn't take it out. And apparently that's when they knew, like, all right, this is who we're going to go with.
Right. That's an interesting story, you know, the Kevin Smith connection.
Yeah, for sure. So another thing I want to throw out there, and I want your take on this, because an early version of this script, I actually have Carmine, the dude they get in the fight with, come back at the end of the movie and kill Goodwill. What's your thoughts on that? How, like, I kind of think that would kind of work, but what do you think?
It would work. It would be a serious downer. I liked how it is now because you don't really know what's going to happen or anything. It's kind of left up in the air. But having this random character come back at the end,
and it is random.
It'd be like the ending of Carlito's Way or something, where he just dies at the end, and you're like, oh, okay.
Now, I think it would work either way. I'm always good for one of those type of endings, like a wild ending. Remember the movie Layer Cake?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so something like that. But
you're right.
No, I mean, it goes either way. But yeah, for me personally, I'm always good for a happy ending. Another weird kind of fun fact, Skylar's character, right, is based on Damon's actual college girlfriend. not sure if I'm pronouncing this name right, but Skylar Satenstein.
Satenstein.
Yeah, I don't know, weird last name. She later marries Lars Ulrich, and they divorced. They divorced in 2004, and now Lars is currently being mocked by his wife Jessica Miller. Okay.
Never really a Lars Ulrich fan at all, despite the fact that I like Metallica.
Same. Same.
I don't know what that means exactly.
That doesn't mean anything. Not worth even talking about. Lastly, I have here, Robin Williams wanted to see Boston, the true spots, like a true Southie spot. So he had Damon and Affleck take him around. They took him to the L Street Tavern, which obviously you see in the movie. And they're immediately engulfed by locals asking Williams where his yacht is. They're starting to fight with Affleck because his hat's on backwards. Yeah, wild stuff in the 90s. So they got out unharmed, but Williams told Weinstein that they had to use this bar for the Harvard scene, which they did. And Weinstein agreed, but he told Affleck and Damon, he's like, don't take Robin to any other locations in Boston. So I thought that was pretty funny. But Robin Williams. We'll talk more about, him and his performance in this, but absolutely God tier. But let's get into some of these scenes. Let's talk about this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm watching this. I'm struck immediately by this fight scene on the basketball court.
Dude, it's so gnarly.
Completely forgot about this scene that it existed in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's somehow the greatest fight scene and the worst fight scene at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they have accomplished this, but I've never actually seen anything like it where they're having a fight and then it goes to slow motion at times. And you're like, what?
Yeah, man.
And then speeds back up. Then at the end gets ultra violent. And it's a slow motion. Casey Affleck gets on top of this guy. And I guess throwing punches at him, but it's slow motion and his face just like lights up and he's just like, and then goes right to Will, just ground and pounding that Carmine dude.
Mm-hmm.
And you're full speed though. And then we're like, whoa, this got violent real quick.
Yeah.
Kind of a cool scene actually, because it's so different.
I don't know. I mean, it is different. And on a side note, apparently Casey was never even supposed to be in the movie. He didn't even have an agent at the time, but he was just palling around. He was going to do like behind the scenes for the movie. And the director, Van Sant, just was like, all right, screw it. Let's just get him in a couple. So all his scenes are pretty much ad-libbed. Side note. But yeah, man, this slow motion to me, it's completely insane. I don't know that this is just them writing this way or the director should have stepped in, but it just, when you see the actual fast-paced fight at the end there, when Damon's like beating the shit out of the dude and then the cops pull him off and he punches the cop, that to me would be way more believable and show the grit and just, the true Southie than this weird slow motion, like kind of, it's so much easier to see choreographed acting and like fake punches when it's slow motion. It just doesn't sell. It looks completely insane, dude. I don't like it at all.
It also, it defeats the purpose of having the ultra violent stuff at the very end, because I feel like the point of it is this guy isn't just some goody two shoes, math whiz. He's this criminal kind of low class kind of dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're making a point of he's violent too.
Yeah.
But the message is taken away somewhat by the fact that there's this goofy slow-mo stuff going on.
It does make it seem very juvenile. I don't know. It's so,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't like it at all. I wish it would have done it all full speed. They then walk into this bar, and I don't know if you took note of this, but they're walking to the bar for the first time, and it's like their local dive bar, which would be the L Street Tavern. And it shows them all separately acknowledge this bouncer, I guess named Case, short for Casey maybe. And I don't know why this dude doesn't have any lines, but they specifically show each one of them acknowledge this guy. And I don't know, not really. I just think it's so dumb.
And you're like, did these guys know the actor who did this?
Yeah, it always makes you
bouncer role.
Yeah, it always makes you
and they're like, hey bro, like let's put you in the movie. It'd be a real hoot. Like we'll just give you a quick line Just come to the set one day. We'll get you in there, right? That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
It was like, it kind of stands out. Like, wait, why are they specifically putting this in the movie?
It's one of those things in movies where you see it and you're just like, it just seems out of place. Don't know why.
Yeah.
But all right, this guy's just like standing with a goofy face. He's got like this, one of those, whatever those caps are, those like Irish caps, but it's, I don't know. Little things like that always stand out to me.
I'd like, to point out this bar scene. They're having this discussion on the market economy of the colonies or whatever. And perhaps the greatest extra in regular or menthol podcast history, standing next to blonde ponytail guy, who's the jabroni of this scene, guy with backwards hat on. Now, if you're watching this scene, you're listening to this right now, I implore you, perhaps you go on YouTube, you pull this famous scene up. You're focused on ponytail guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I get it. And for years, you may not have noticed the fact that the greatest extra of all time is standing right next to him. Let's go back in time to 1997, just for a moment. Take a look at this man's getup, okay? You got the mustache and goatee.
Oh yeah.
Right? Polo shirt with white tee under it.
Very nice.
Okay? Backwards hat.
Just like a random
right.
backwards hat, just single tone. No logo, probably.
No logo. Just an absolutely insane 90s look. Kind of just took me right out of the scene while watching it.
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that. I gotta go back and watch.
This guy, like, what's this guy's deal? He's in this bar with his other friend is this Asian dude behind him and backwards hat guy. And they're kind of like this group. Like, think about that group out there.
Hello, fellow students.
Just unbelievably insane looking. If anyone is watching, like, let's say my nephews are like listening right now and they're like, dude, what's he talking about? We got to watch Good Will Hunting. They pull this scene up. They watch this. They probably have no idea that you could legitimately see these people in real life.
Oh yeah.
You could see backwards hat guy with a polo shirt with a t-shirt under it showing.
Dude.
This is like what people wore this stuff is what I'm getting at.
Well, I mean, it's just any that was just normal back then. I mean, think about early 2000s, dude. Remember the pop collar on polos?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but what about the double pop collar? Like you're rocking a pop collar on a button-up polo shirt, and then you have a second color on top of it. That was a thing.
Mm-hmm. Pastels, perhaps.
Yeah, that was a thing. Yeah, probably like 2-3 years.
That was like
05 to
Jersey
like
Shore-ish
07.
era.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe pre-Jersey Shore, but absolutely associated with clubbing.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Armani Exchange t-shirts and shit.
Oh yeah.
Side note I want to put out. I know that you know this. That the Ponytail guy is Scott Winters. Okay,
Yeah.
brother of Dean Winters from all those Allstate commercials. Who's always beat up and everything. So these two play brothers in the show Oz. Have you seen Oz?
You know what? It's one of the only shows that I've never seen.
I think I knew that.
I'm familiar with it, but I know what you're talking about, but I've never actually seen the whole show.
Dude, when COVID hit, it was like, okay, so you're not allowed to do anything anymore. So Lynn's like, all right, let's watch a show. I'm like, okay. There's this show Oz that I've watched in college. I don't know if you're going to like it. Yeah, just start on. So we binge watched Oz in like a couple weeks. Complete insanity.
Holy smokes.
But in the show, these two play brothers. And ironically, Scott plays a boxer in prison and he like whoops everyone's ass, which is kind of wild because he kind of gets, punked down a little bit in the scene. But yeah, I like this dude as an actor. He's in a couple things, but he kind of rules. Everyone just knows the brother though, Dean.
Dean, yeah. So I'm familiar with Dean Winters. I can't even remember what he was in, but I remember a time of being like, when I saw that Allstate commercial first, I was like, there's the guy.
Right.
Oh, there's the guy.
Hey, the guy over here.
I think like, what is that guy does these Allstate commercials. Now you're a commercial Chad as well. You show up, the Allstate tomorrow is like, hey, Chris, look, we're we're getting rid of Mr. Winters here. We want you to step in and be the new All-State guy. Okay. What kind of, are you getting residuals on that?
He probably does. Jake from State Farm, all those, whatever. I can't remember the other ones, but if you're the face of it, you get residuals. If you're just any other commercial pretty much these days, they don't have to because they can just hire anybody. So,
like,
if you're the face of it, you get residuals.
Thing that pops in my mind right now, Mentos guy, back in the day, right? He's got he's got the tube of Mentos, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of him. In my mind's eye, I can see exactly what he looks like, right? No idea who that person is, though. Okay, Dean Winters, yeah, I know who he is. He's not a huge star, but like a big enough star that I recognized him when I first saw those commercials.
Right.
That's a huge payday for him.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you're national campaigns, dude, you're making a salary. I mean, we're talking Flo. I think it's like $1 million plus per commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And how many of those does she do? So you only have to have a decent run, and I mean, you're pretty much set.
Damn, dude.
Oh yeah.
Commercials, dude.
Well, you have to become the face, right? It can only work for someone who's done it long enough and they get over, and then it's like, okay, now they're the face. We have to. It's funny because this is a little side story, but Jake from State Farm. I was talking to my cousin when he was over the other week, and he was like, dude, huge missed marketing opportunity was there was a quarterback drafted, and it was funny because he was in the show that Lindsay and I watched called QB1, so you saw him from high school. Jake Fromm is his name, Fromm. So he goes to Georgia. He's like a top recruit quarterback, gets drafted by the Bills. Yeah, the Bills drafted him. So he's kind of journeyman his way through the league as a backup. He doesn't get picked back up. Apparently he's selling insurance at the moment. Like, true story. Could have literally been Jake from State Farm. But they already have their guy. I mean, they have been running this national campaign it'd be weird for them to swap out for another Jake from State Farm.
What they should do is they have the original Jake from State Farm, the guy that they have.
Yeah.
And then on the trail of selling insurance on the road, he comes up with sees a competing State Farm insurance seller.
Yeah.
And it's Jake Fromm.
Dude.
And then they have a whole back and forth, right?
It almost would have been, it was too good to be true. Missed opportunity. But yeah.
Hey, State Farm, if you're looking for a commercial writer, hey, tell me where to send my resume. Just putting that out there. Talk to me about, hey, you might be really smart, but I'll have a degree.
What's that worth?
You'll be pumping my gas because I'll have a Harvard degree. Is that even a thing?
I don't know, man. What are the degrees worth these days?
Well, apparently they're worth $150,000 in the 90s. But
it depends on the industry.
That's Harvard.
Yeah, it depends on the industry you're in.
We're talking to people at work. They have the college loans. We're flipping out hearing about this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
We hear the number. We're like, whoa, that's a high number.
You're talking about the interest rate.
Yeah, the interest rate and everything. And, these student loans and everything. But this guy is like, yeah, I'll have a degree. So, I'll blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I wonder if that even resonates to someone watching this movie who is born in the last 15 years. Yep. I don't know.
Good point. Yeah. Completely night and day. Yes. Back then meant a lot. Especially a Harvard degree.
It's arguable that absolutely a Harvard degree is worth $150,000 based on the connections, and it's just a more prestigious degree. Like, you're getting the best of the best degree.
Right.
So obviously you're going to get a job that pays for that. Now, if you get a, state college degree and you have $100,000 in loans, that might be different, because then you got to really be like, hey, I need an economics degree or something that will actually lead to a job of me getting paid,
Just true. Interesting casting choice here with Minnie Driver. The British accent, for me, can be kind of distracting to an American audience if I was casting this person. Like I said before, it was, I guess, meant to be his college girlfriend. I guess he must have had, choice of who that would be. But I ask it all the time. Is she hot? Minnie Driver in this movie.
Yeah.
She's doing it for you?
I'm going to go out on a limb. Minnie Driver does it for me in Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
Now, you're the one posing the question, but really, I need to know your perspective on this. Me, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask. I think everyone's hot. But
let me just pull up a picture here. Minnie Driver, Good Will Hunting. I just watched this. So, she looks kind of pretty even till today. She's held up.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Some scenes she looks prettier than others, but I don't know. The British accent kind of takes it away from me. She's okay.
See, the thing is, a lot of people,
she's pretty.
They see Good Will Hunting. I think she's pretty, and it's the attitude. I think we touched on this
for sure.
On,
no question about that.
Another episode, but it's the attitude. I feel like that really brings it home. Like the cheerful attitude, just not being berated by her.
Well, I'll tell you what though. I watched this whole thing, and aside from the scene where they kind of freak out on each other and they get in the argument, I don't really think there's a great connection here between Minnie Driver and Matt Damon. I'm not wowed by it. I don't see like a lot of really good chemistry. You always see, you talk about all the time these actors who end up being on set and they get married to someone. For example, Gosling and Eva Mendes. Like, there's real chemistry in Place Beyond the Pines.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that. Like, this, to me, this just doesn't, again, this is one of the dude's first movies. I don't know what she did before this, but yeah, it's difficult, but again, I'm just making the point that it was an interesting casting choice. I think they could have went a couple different directions and it would have been better. My take.
We might have to do an episode on leading hot women in Hollywood of the 90s.
Well, all right, fair enough. But I have a very specific look that I like, so I don't know. It's kind of weird, but
this is why I've had to turn the question back on you, is because people really want to know.
She's pretty. I'm not taking anything away from her. There's a select kind of chick in Hollywood that I'm a fan of. So
also the chemistry all comes from her perspective, like all from her direction too, because she's the one pushing the relationship at a certain point.
Yeah. I do, yeah, but to your point, it's like her attitude where she goes out of her way to talk to them and she's kind of pushing everything. So, yeah.
Doesn't mind even hanging out with the boys. She's like one of the boys.
I want to meet your brothers.
Hey.
Ricky, Tommy, Chewy. He goes to the whole Jesse, Jamie, whatever. Dude, it's so good. But yeah, no, so again, to reinforce Minnie Driver, I would have liked somebody else.
Here we again. Okay, we had an episode earlier on The Town, and it's discussed how in The Town, Ben Affleck's character is wearing these tracksuits all over the place. Now, I ask you because again, in this movie, Ben Affleck is wearing these tracksuits all the time, and is this a Boston thing?
It's a Boston
or is
thing.
this a Ben Affleck thing?
That's a good question, man, because what's the difference of these movies? 97 to, what is that, 2012, 2015? The Town? That's
2010.
Is it 2010? Okay. So you're talking 13 years? This guy's styles.
That's a hard 13 years,
yeah, dude. It's so funny, too, because when you watch this, it's like you see Ben Affleck, Boston Ben Affleck, and then it's like he does this movie, The Town. It's like he's grown so much as an actor.
Yeah.
And I'll get into that later because, this... I'm not a big fan of Ben in this movie, but you can see how much he grows. Yeah, dude. The tracksuit thing, I don't know. I guess there's some weird wardrobe choices here. Casey's got the Kangol with the stripe down it, and then like striped
and his hair
sleeves with like sweaters. It's very, very mid 90s, I would say. This wardrobe choice. Yeah. I guess to answer your question, the tracksuit, it has to be a Boston thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't know if you caught this guy. This is kind of my extra / supporting person in this movie. Yeah, maybe not the best, but this guy Tom. Okay, he's Skarsgard's henchman. This dude to me kind of rules. He's super loyal to Skarsgard, which plays the character Lambeau. He wants his affirmation the entire movie, right? You can kind of see it. And then we get Good Will Hunting come in, and immediately Skarsgard's like fawning all over him. They do this like funny shot where they're broing out at the chalkboard, and then they do this little high five slap across, like coming back around. And then they sit down, and Skarsgård puts his arm around Will, and it just shows Tom hunched over his desk like this crummy little toady, and he's festering, like all pissed off. It's just like this character, because he just stands out. It's like I just love
it's very strange, dude. It's very. I picked up on it too. You're right. It does stand out. You're like, why?
It is weird. Every time I watch it, it's like, does this character
is he
need to
jealous?
Well, obviously he's jealous.
Yeah.
That's what it's meant to. But I'm like, why does that even have to be there?
Yeah, it's like this guy. It almost zooms in on him sitting in the back.
It does,
where he has this disapproving kind of nod. He's like shaking his head, and you're like, whoa, what's happening here?
But he does it all movie.
This guy's jealous.
He does it all movie because then they bring in Alexander, who's another math whiz, and Will just kind of shits on his problem that he comes up with. And Tom goes over to him and he's like, "It's okay, Alexander. You're a brilliant man. Everyone gets lucky." Talking about how Will just figures it out in 5 seconds. It's like, dude, I don't know, man.
Definitely stood out to me though. It's one of those things where you're watching a movie and you're like, whoa, why is this in here? Who put this in here? Was there some greater purpose that this got written out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have to ask the question though, is this plot line in your opinion even possible? Like, let's say this dude's a born genius, right? And he just happens to have an affinity for reading and learning. They even referenced it where this guy, it's where Lambeau's talking to Sean, and he says how this guy in India was born and came across a book. And I don't even know if that's a real character in real life, but you have Will, who's this high school grad, but just reads a lot. Are you able to, without teaching, do you think, can you accomplish this level of genius, putting together these problems, maybe for other things, history that he talks about, but in terms of math and just all these equations, is that even possible to be learning from books? Just in terms of the plot line.
No, I mean, it seems to me that he is just a natural, like he's naturally good at math.
Right.
Where he looks at this stuff and it's like one of those, I guess, I don't know what you would call idiot savant people.
Yeah.
Who can, just fly over some city in a helicopter and just from memory do it to scale drawing of the whole city.
Yeah. Okay.
To the finest detail. You know, I think that there's people like that. I think they're probably crazy.
Yeah.
In real life, and to have a guy that's seemingly otherwise normal just be a genius and it's not picked up on at any point in life. Like, it seems unlikely that he would get to the point of being a janitor.
Yeah.
His 20s before anyone picked up on the fact that he's an actual genius. Seems unlikely.
He's guarded. Okay. You know, he's got past traumas, but, no, I just was curious your take on that, because I just look at that like, I find it hard to believe that someone, especially with math and just the properties, to be able to just come up with these on the fly. Hey, it took us 3 years to come up with this problem, and this guy just, you know, he's pushing. It's like,
I can't help it. It took us years. Like, I can't help but think about it.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, is it possible? You're looking at it.
So this introduces us to Robin Williams in the film, and this is where it kind of gets meaty. But I'll say, man, growing up, I was never a Robin Williams fan. Now, mind you, I loved Hook. I love Jumanji, like pretty much anything
Yeah.
he was in. And it wasn't until later that I realized he was kind of the genius that made these movies. But I think it was just like him. I didn't like Leo. I didn't like all the PC actors that Hollywood pushed. You know what I mean? Because it was like, to me, I was like this little shithead who thought he was cool. And like, I don't know. I just didn't like these.
I kind of get what you're saying, dude. Like,
but then I got older and I'm like, okay, these guys actually, Leo, Robin, like they're all just phenomenal. Just press F for this guy. I mean, you wish he was still alive to see what he would still be doing.
yeah, for sure, dude. It's funny you say this though, because I was also not a fan of Robin Williams. It didn't really have anything to do with anything except for the fact that when I was a kid, I went up to my sister's apartment in the Bronx, New York, when she was in college. So
where did she go to school?
She went to Fordham.
Okay.
And she's like, okay, we'll rent a movie. And it's the movie Toys with LL Cool J. I don't know if you remember this insane movie. But I was like, I don't really like this movie. And as a result, I formed an opinion where I was like, I don't really like Robin Williams.
Right.
Right. But then much like you, I go back years later, and there's a level of appreciation where you're like, oh, dude, like,
oh yeah, the genius.
He actually is killing it.
Yeah, you can't argue his genius. Even something where I read that Skarsgard in this movie was kind of intimidated doing scenes with him because the director was a big fan, like I said, with Casey Affleck, of just kind of ad-libbing, which, by the way, when you're on set, dude, it can be intimidating. You know what I mean? You're just expected to just come off the cuff with something. It's not the easiest thing to do. But Skarsgård said that Robin Williams would just to get him comfortable, he would do the scene as like Jack Nicholson or a bunch of different actors before getting into character as Sean, just to kind of get the room comfortable. And then he would just do the scene as Sean, which incredible range to just be able to, flip the script like that, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. We get back to the film here. We have the scene where Will gets introduced to Sean. And for me, like I said, this is kind of what the movie's all about. They have like their core 5 to 7 scenes together. And this is where he breaks down Sean based on this painting that he did, right? And happens to reference his wife. You can see where Sean goes from like meek and mannered and he just grips Will up against the window. And dude, you want to talk about wild faces that we always talk about? Look at Damon's face when he's like choked out up against this window. He's like, it's like the funniest thing ever.
Top face of the movie. It has to be.
Oh my God.
It's so wild looking. And you're kind of watching the movie and you're like, oh, it just got real for a second. It just got serious.
It's true, because you think about that. It's like, it gives you the sense that if this didn't happen, would Will even have come back? Because all these other shrinks, he just got them to kick him out. And now he knows that this dude is real. He's from Southie. He's like, he doesn't mess around. So it was kind of perfect to have that written in there.
I mean, people are probably watching this movie and their reaction is, 9 out of 10 people, their reaction is, whoa, this is crazy. He just got real serious and angry. And my reaction is that, but then I'm like, wow, Matt Damon's face here looks so crazy.
So true, dude. It's the wildest look ever. Which, again, like I said, these scenes are kind of what mold the movie, if you will. You have the next time that they meet, he comes back and Sean just goes, come with me, right? Takes him to the bench, by the, that little, I guess it's like a park in Boston. I think I've been to that exact park. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, he doesn't even give Will a chance to agree or disagree. He's just like, come with me. He just has to go with him, right? Get to the park, and Sean immediately takes control of the conversation. He proceeds to rip Will down to his core, basically saying, you're young, you have no life experience, you don't know anything. But it kind of gives Sean the upper hand, if you will. But he's leveling the playing field, and, he tells him, hey, I'm fascinated by you, but I can't talk to you or form a relationship if you're just going to be an asshole, right? Mm-hmm. So he kind of just takes the ball into his court, kind of contrary or comparatively to what we just saw in the last scene, which is kind of an interesting take on it.
I'm watching that scene, and the thing I took away from it was Robin Williams, and then they show it prior to that scene. They show him sitting at his house, just kind of staring off, thinking, and he's
drinking
just honest
scotch
with him. He's like, "Hey, in fact, I sat up all night thinking about it,
right?
Until I remembered you're just a kid, right?
Exactly."
And then I think to myself, have I ever done that? Have I ever just sat up thinking about some insane shit that someone did to me, and then I just realized, like,
doesn't matter.
What am I doing here, sitting, stewing over this when this person is a crumb? Yeah,
100%.
Like, what?
It's true.
You know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you? I guess.
Yeah. No. I mean, you think about things. It's like, what is that? The shower thoughts, where it's like, yeah, what I would have said if. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm at the stage of my life where I don't even take anything people say to me. I got to take constructive criticism, but you're gonna be hard pressed to get me to overthink anything you're gonna say to me. But another side note I like to point out is just his delivery in this scene is god tier. Mm-hmm. So this scene alone is one of my favorite of all time, but his range is kind of wild because he's kind of reminiscing about war with his buddies, and you can see like a smirk on his face. And then as soon as he looks over at Damon and like sees his face, this just like look of disgust comes over him, which is kind of wild. Like, if you just have to go back and watch that one specific part, 'cause it just goes from like happy, kind of reminiscent, to just anger, because he's just like, this kid pisses me off. It's pretty cool.
Lost in his thoughts for a split second, then brings it back to the present, looking at him.
Yeah, man. It's so good. This is just why he's just so good. But yeah, so like I said, man, it's interesting to see Will's behavioral change after Sean challenges him to make himself vulnerable enough to love someone the way Sean did his wife. Because he's talking about Skylar. He's like, you wouldn't even know. You've never been vulnerable enough to love someone like that. You know what I mean? So immediately he kind of kicks it in his brain. And he starts to get more real with Skylar. He comes back telling Sean, like, oh, I read your book. Do you still counsel veterans? It's like a very noticeable change of his behavior in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I ask, King? Question to you. Have you ever been in love?
I guess. I don't know. Not really. I mean, I've had like crushes on people and stuff.
Yeah.
But, that's just why maybe I am goodwill. Maybe I got barriers up. I gotta.
You've been hurt?
I've been hurt before, but I got these barriers up to, I can't love anymore. I'm also 41. That's what the meaning of this movie is this guy, it doesn't matter how smart you are. You still have all these fears and everything holding you back.
It's a good point.
Right?
Yeah, it's exactly what this movie's about. Yeah. That's literally it until the very end.
I mean, it seems I'm watching this movie and I think to myself, is this even this love story here? He's being such a prick.
Yeah.
Like almost to an extreme level. I'm like, I don't even know if I could ever be such a prick like that. But then I'm like, he's supposed to be way more psychologically damaged than like you really get to until the end of the movie. Mm-hmm. You don't realize it until the end of the movie.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Yeah. We'll get to that. This
is kind of out of left field, but the two of these guys, Damon and Minnie Driver, they're in this argument, right? Talking about going out west. They're having an argument about going out west.
California.
And I'm just like, Damon stands up, and I'm like, damn, dude, he's got a good physique. Now, we've discussed many times the physique inflation going on first in the 80s, then it comes back down in the 90s. It goes in waves. Mm. Then 2000s, everyone bulked up again, right? When you watch this scene, were you like, that's a good natty physique right there?
Well,
why would you need anything more than that?
Yeah, you can't really tell dude, this guy just got into Hollywood, seemingly. I mean, he's 27 years old. I wouldn't necessarily say he's blasting, if that's what you're referring to.
No. I mean, I'm kind of, joking about like his nipples being puffy and everything. Like, is this guy got gyno? Is he blasting? But, in all seriousness, like, this is like your prime natty physique.
Mm-hmm.
This is your upper limit of natty physique, I would say, right?
Yeah.
Do you really need anything more than this? When you see this movie, if you're saying he's not big enough, I got to get bigger than that. I want to be more big, more jacked, more ripped. Do you have body dysmorphia at that point?
I would say so. But the thing is, it's a difference of age. I mean, this guy's 27 years old. I mean, there's guys that are in their 40s wanting to blast. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I mean, this is for a 27-year-old. This is a good physique to have. Like you said, this is also the 90s, right? So I think this is probably what you'd want to be. And like you said, at that time, Hollywood is saying this is mid-90s. This is peak physique of the 90s.
Yeah. I'm like, I think if I was using roids and I was looking completely bloated with roid gut and everything, I'd be like, I messed up in life.
Yeah.
Because you use let's say you are older, right? You use a small amount of roids so that you get this exact physique.
Is that possible? I don't even know how.
Because if you're a 45-year-old man, look at your average 45-year-old men out there. They don't look like that, right?
Yeah. Well, personally, I mean, I said if I was getting less and less acting roles, I'm like, all right, dude, I'm a dad now, so I'm just trying to get like a gut and just get yoked, like put on size. I don't even care about having a gut. But like now I'm booking again, so I'm like, man, I gotta keep like a decent physique. So it's like, but yeah, I mean, at this stage of my life, all I'm trying to do is just get size, just to like be like super jacked. Don't even care about
just Permabulking.
Permabulk. Done. But I will say a side note in this scene is he has this preconceived notion about Skylar. She's like this trust fund baby, and she breaks the news to him that, she lost her dad and inherited this money, right? So he comes to this realization like, hey, I'm judging this chick, and yeah, she actually has this thing that she has to deal with where her dad died, and she's like, I think gives the line, I'd give all that money back if I could be with him for one more day. So it's like, and then he just like gets more like, to your point, he's more pissed about it and then freaks out even further.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, chill.
She's dropping this knowledge on him and he just blows her off. Like, what? I saw that. I was like, this seems very unlikely, but again, I don't know.
Yeah.
They had to go there with the movie anyway,
Because the movie has to happen.
The most pivotal scene, I guess, is this one scene where they start talking about how Goodwill was beaten as a child, and Sean and him connect over the fact that Sean's dad was an alcoholic and would beat him. And there's this whole scene where he goes and he just kind of randomly stops. He goes, "It's not your fault."
Yeah.
And
pretty powerful scene.
Damon's face, like, yeah,
yeah, I know, yeah, I see. What
he does that a couple of times.
Yeah. No, I know.
Then he looks at him. No, I know. And then Sean keeps going, "It's not your fault.
Right.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault." Now, why is this so powerful? Because it like speaks to this idea that people take their pain and bad things happen to people, and as a defense mechanism, you put up barriers around it so that you can't ever get there because you don't want to ever feel that pain ever again.
Right.
And one of the barriers is not letting people even close to talking about it. Right.
Right.
So he kind of it's just a way of him blasting through this barrier that Will puts up. And everyone watching this scene immediately feels it because everyone has something bad that's happened to them. And they kind of put that, even if it's not really that big of a deal. And it influences your whole behavior because subconsciously now you create this whole behavior pattern to avoid that pain.
Yeah.
So everything he's doing in this movie is a behavior pattern, and he's perhaps not even doing it consciously to avoid the pain that he felt as a kid.
It's a good take.
That's why he is hanging out with these guys, because they're loyal and they'll put a bat to someone's head if he needed them to. That's why.
Well, he has abandonment issues. Yeah.
Right. And it's like everyone watching this can relate to the pain inside them and how if I just address the pain, it'll hurt.
Right.
But then it'll be a relief and I can just act normally, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
But for whatever reason, we can't.
Well, that's just, psychology 101. It's just, like you said, it's a defense mechanism. And unless you're willing to open up and talk about it, it's pretty hard to get that out there.
Yeah.
But that leads to this pretty Kino scene between Will and Lambeau where Will's kind of still pissed off about Skylar. So he lashes out on Lambeau a little bit. He's like, oh, a little appreciation would be nice. It's like a little appreciation. He's like, you know how easy this shit is for me? This is a fucking joke. He's like, and I'm sorry you can't do this. I really am. Because I don't want to have to sit here and watch you fumble around and fuck it up. It's like such a good line. He just like pops off on him. So what he's doing is this guy, he's like this math genius. And Will's just shitting on his entire life work. This guy's like, and he even says it at the end. He's like, I wish I'd never met you. Right. Because then I'd never know that you were even out there. And Will's just like, yeah, dude, I don't care. Right.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's just his character. He's not asking. From the beginning, you kind of see he never really wants this gift. Right. He kind of just explores it, if you will, which is why Sean's, why did you choose the most prestigious college in the country or in the world? But to me, he just wants to be a normal dude, which is why you have one of the greatest scenes at the end there where they're having a beer on break on their construction job, Will and Chuckie, right? This is such a great scene because I've probably said this scene how many times you know what the best part of my day is? I don't know much, but I know that. So it's like, this is really where Chuckie gets real with him. And I think that everything compounded on is where it took his best friend to finally say to him, like, yeah, dude, this is a waste of your time. Like, we would kill to have what you have. So he's kind of almost guilting him into it. It's like, dude, stop making excuses. Just go for it, right?
Yeah.
It all comes kind of full circle, if you will.
The one thing is, Will, everyone's been telling him that his whole life, it seems like, is that you have these gifts, it's a shame if you wouldn't.
You have to act on it, right? Right.
And the way Chuckie handles it is he throws it like, nah, dude, it's not for your benefit.
You owe it to me.
You owe us.
You owe it to me.
You owe me because I'm a guy that doesn't have any opportunities. Yep. And you do.
Yeah.
So you're spitting in my face if you don't act on them.
Right.
Dishonor. It's like a different perspective to kind of get them to follow through on things, Yeah.
It's cool. I just think that all these characters, it's again, like I said, it's so well written because all these characters have their purpose and they all kind of touch on all his emotions that it's just really, really well written to where they all come full circle and he has this realization at the end, right? And that's just good writing, man. It makes a great movie.
Yeah.
Which leads me to Kino rating, my friend. What do you got? What do you got?
Well, I'll go 9 because,
okay.
Yeah, like you just said, everything you just said there, like the writing is really good. The range on this acting, very good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to just bring up the fact that last week we talked about The Island of Dr. Moreau. Think about the writing on that movie versus this movie.
I mean, it's night and day.
Like, I was thinking about that when I was watching this. I was like, dude, I have no idea what the motivations of any of these characters are from Dr. Moreau. On this movie, you go through a whole range of emotions and like through their whole life and everything in a brilliant way. I'm like, dude, it's such a like a contrast, but like 9.
Well, because here I go defending this movie again. Dr. Moreau, you have a guy who had this vision of bringing these creatures to life there's so much involved just to get that aspect of it down that you make concessions somewhere, and that's going to be some of the writing, some of the story. You can't do everything, right? So that's my take on why Moreau was not as good with the writing. But yeah, you can't flesh the characters out. Like, you're not having these humanoid werewolves running around Boston in this movie. So
Well, yeah.
you're just having people fight in slow motion. That's all.
It does. It's kind of like if we watched another movie last week that was really good, it'd be harder to kind of gauge because
that's why I kind of space them all out. Just crazy different styles and genres.
Just that contrast was like, oh my God, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's such a crazy, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is like a legit good movie.
I'm going 8.8. Going 8.8. I mean, again, original plot, right? And what do I always say about the greatest movies? And it's pure science. The greatest movies are the juxtaposition between the two main roles. And again, dude, considering the fact, like something like There Will Be Blood, right? You have those two pretty much on screen the entire film. Like something like this, they have 5 scenes together, 6 scenes, 7, or whatever. It doesn't matter. But you have all those other characters popping in, developing the characters, the two main characters. I mean, Robin Williams, he has character development just by his words. Maybe proxy with some of the things Lambeau says. But yeah, man, just those, you could watch those 3 or 4 scenes between these two, and that would be in a movie in and of itself. Done, in my opinion. So that's what you get. It's an 8.8 for me.
Yeah.
Simple as.
Well, next week we start spooky season.
Oh boy.
With we're gonna be doing John Carpenter's Vampires, kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, honestly.
Oh boy. All right, this is your movie.
So
well, then I gotta ask you, King, real quick. Linz was talking about decorating for Halloween. Is it too early? I have to ask.
No, it's not. And I would say
for the record,
I would say
September
now is about the
23rd.
right time.
September 23rd
Yes.
today.
I'd say now is about the right time because we're getting at 6:00, getting dark.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Hate it.
It's officially fall right now.
Is it really?
And yeah,
Damn.
you get a head start on everyone else on your decorations. You get yours up first.
Damn.
You're leading the way. You're leading the spooky season. You're telling these other people, okay, I'm giving you the green light, folks.
I got
Everyone else can put your...
Trust me, dude. We got some neighbors that had them up like September 1st. So
Really?
yeah, dude. People don't mess around. My brother's the same way, dude. They put theirs up. They're huge Halloween people. They put theirs up like September 1st. They don't mess around. They want to have 2 full months. They want 2 months out of it, out of their decoration.
Yeah, like I don't really start getting into this spooky season until like now. So now.
All right. Fair enough. There you heard it, folks. Put out your decorations now.
Well, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week, folks.
Catch you on the next one.